Jeffrey is under so much pressure from his teachers, from the parents, and from the world. He's sat rocking his chair back and forth, neurotically trying to figure out how to manage it all. If only there was someone that could help young Jeffrey. Adonis! Adonis magically takes control of Jeffrey's computer and he puts on something interesting. He puts on videos of inspirational men. Jeffrey's so inspired he starts doing push-ups in his room and shouting quotes from David Goggins. Who's gonna carry the boat? Back in school, after months of improving his mental health, Jeffrey is now a new man. He's walking down the corridor with confidence, holding eye contact even with the girls. He sits at the front of the class with pure concentration and his teacher hands him back the previous test. Another fantastic grade. His parents can't even believe how much he's improved, all because he improved his mental health. And then there's you. The amount of work that you have in high school is inhumane. When there's been studies done to find how much work people can actually do, it always ends up at about 3 to 6 hours per day. You have school longer than that, and then you have homework, then you have the extracurricular activities, then you maybe have gym or other sports, and then you maybe have some other kind of project you're working on, like growing a business. It's too much. But that being said, we can't really reduce it. And so what we can do is equip you with the skills to take on this burden. There's a quote which I remember used to be plastered up on the walls of my school, which was, "I do not pray for an easy life. I pray for the strength to bear through a difficult life." Still, this amount of work ends up feeling overwhelming. And it's a very common experience of seeing a young Jeffrey who's in school, who's not really discovered self-improvement just yet, and who is breaking down. You can probably think of your peers who are like this, who are genuinely becoming neurotic and anxious and overwhelmed and burning out because they're just trying so hard on the wrong things. They're sacrificing these poor Jeffreys, these guys who haven't even discovered self-improvement. They're sacrificing their health to try and study more and to try and get better grades. When of course we know that to get higher grades and to perform better in school, we need to be improving our health. We need to be sleeping even better, not sleeping less. We need to be eating cleaner, not eating fast food. But it's not even just the pressure of the workload that's the problem. It's also about your social life inside of school. If you are watching this guide, let's just be honest, you are not like the other people in school. Chances are you probably don't have that many friends. I can guess exactly what kind of person you are. You stand out and you dumb yourself down when you're next to the other people in there. You spent far too long of your valuable time consuming the same kind of pointless brain-dead media as everyone else just to try and fit in, and recently you've had enough of that and now you've been educating yourself in your spare time. You're watching these educational videos, you're listening to the health and education and productivity podcasts, you're reading books, and now you stick out even though you keep dumbing yourself down to fit in with everyone else. It's time to claim this authentic version of yourself, that you are this new version of yourself. You are that version of yourself who's on self-improvements, who's becoming more like Adonis, who doesn't want to be a Jeffrey anymore, who will not be dragged down by the crabs in a bucket. But for you to admit this, you have to understand that there is a huge problem with this kind of lifestyle that you're getting into. It is lonelier. There's far less people on the journey to becoming Adonis than in the cesspit of staying as a Jeffrey. This means that another huge cause of bad mental health is your lack of social connection. When you're alone and you look around and it seems like everyone has friends, even the toxic people, even the stupid people, it's going to hurt. But mark my words, it will hurt more if you continue pretending to be someone that you're not just so you can fit in with people that you don't even like. Stay true to this path and you will come across those other people who have stayed true to this path as well. And when you meet one of those people who's on self-improvement, who's going to the gym, who's educating themselves, that's when you actually develop such a great friendship with someone. That's why I'm so proud that one of the 2 products that I sell is all about just connecting young people who are on self-improvement. That's my community, Adonis Gang, and it's linked in the description if you're interested in that. That's why I'm so proud of the work that I've done for people like us and the amount of effort that I've put in on connecting people like us together so that we stay on this path, but we also have friends on this path. There's an action step that I'm going to get you to do in just a few moments. But before that, I want to explain to you the 3 kinds of people that you need to keep in mind. The bottom some level, the absolute worst kind of person that we fucking hate are the crabs. You know that analogy of crabs in a bucket? When you put multiple crabs in a bucket, naturally they'll try and climb out of the bucket. But what happens is the crabs who are below the one who's climbing out will for some reason snip at his legs and pull him back down. This is exactly what you see in probably 10 to 20% of the population. They will actively, purposefully try to drag you back down and slow down your self-improvement journey. They are genuinely evil people. They want worse for you. They are genuinely bad people who will ruin your life, and you know exactly which one of like your old group of friends is the crab. Those are the toxic, horrible people that you want to create as much distance to as possible. When they hear you getting into the gym, they'll call you gay for it, and they'll gaslight you and say that you're weird and that you're too obsessive and you're narcissistic, and they'll throw all these big terms at you when you're just trying to be healthier. If they ever saw you watching a video like this, they would directly insult you to your face. These are horrible people. We hate the crabs. Then probably around 80% of people are Jeffries. Jeffries are people who haven't discovered self-improvement, and they just go wherever the world is taking them. Unfortunately, the world is ran by evil entrepreneurs, people who make social media companies, people who make porn companies, video game companies, junk food. And so these big companies have got such a hold on the Jeffries. The Jeffries don't know about self-improvement. They don't know about meditation. They can't even sit through and watch a video like this because their attention span is so weak, which is unfortunate because that means they can't even educate themselves anymore. We don't hate the Jeffries because we understand why they're like this. We understand that the modern world is genuinely like hooked up in a way to make it severely addictive to our primal caveman brain and nervous system. And so we emphasize with the Jeffries, as long as they have a relatively kind and nice personality, we understand how difficult it was to, for example, be addicted to porn and not even know about the concept of nofap. We pity the Jeffries, but we don't hate them. We understand their pain. And then less than 1% of people are in the final category, just like Adonis, the ultimate man. You do not have to be perfect in all ways to feel like an Adonis, but rather you have to feel like you are right now living up to your current potential. If you feel like you are really pushing yourself to improve, this is now your new identity. And you say to yourself, I am an Adonis. I am this 1%er. I am so different from the Jeffries and especially from the crabs. Adonis is the ultimate man, the tribe leader, the man at the top who is helping those below him. When the crabs are snipping everyone's legs and pulling them back down, Adonis is at the top of the bucket, reaching his muscular arm down into the bucket and pulling other people up to him. He's the leader who is helping others. First, he helped himself. He filled up his own cup, and now he's pouring his own cup into others because his cup is just overflowing because of self-improvement. This is where you want to get to, but more importantly, you want to make sure you stay here. You stay humble. You keep learning. As you're learning right now, this is a fantastic sign. It's very important that we just covered that, because one of the worst things for your mental health is being around the crabs. The crabs will absolutely traumatize you, and you need to right now think about the 80-20 rule. Which 20% of people do you know who are crabs? And you must do everything it takes to take a big step back from those people and have as little to zero interaction with them as possible, because with every step that you take on self-improvement, they will drag you down. They will pull you back. They will make you feel so bad for trying to just improve your life. Now, here's your action step for this part of this guide. We want you to get a score so that we can quantify your mental health. Like, you can literally have a score for your mental health. We can see how bad it is. And then a few weeks from now, we can get you to take the same questionnaire again and see the difference in this numerical format, because usually mental health is so wishy-washy. It's just in the mind, and it's very hard to see if we've made real progress. It's just based on how you feel, but your emotions change. This way, we get a quantitative snapshot of how you're feeling right now. So this is exactly what you do. The top link in the description is the UK's National Health Service's mental health questionnaire. Click on that link and just follow the steps on there, and you'll get a depression and anxiety score. Make sure you save that, comment it below, and screenshot it so that you've saved it. One very important thing as you're doing this questionnaire is just to remember you have to get the sort of formatting of the questions right. Specifically, the questions are asking you how many days over the last 2 weeks you have felt the current symptom that it's asking you about. So it's important that you almost visualize or look at your calendar and think about the last 2 weeks before this date. Okay, of these 14 days before today, how many days did I feel this current symptom? Probably half of them, yeah. That's how you answer it.